Hello everybody and welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 175 for Thursday, July 9th, 2009.
This song is called...
175. That's 25 away from the big 200, which is pretty crazy. Just so you guys know, I have compiled all the questions that you guys have submitted. I've been kind of going through them, putting my little answers down. I'm going to try to record the video. Maybe I'll have it up at the same time that this one is. If not, it's going to be up very shortly after. I want to make it kind of halfway decent for you guys that have submitted the questions and actually care what I have to say. But the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Michael Mann's new film, Public Enemies. This film stars Johnny Depp, Christian Bale, and Marion Cotillard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And Public Enemies is basically chronicles the life of John Dillinger and his other famous people. I think one's Babyface something or other. It's basically about Dillinger though, even though they have these other players involved. And it basically goes through his life of robbing banks, wooing women, and that sort of thing. I don't want to spend too much time on plot because I think everybody really knows what it's about. Public Enemies is an okay film. I had a lot of mixed emotions when I was walking out of the theater. For a number of reasons. One, that the big one that people are all talking about is Michael Mann is shooting in this style that's kind of a digital HD style. It's handheld, it's steady, it's a shaky cam, that sort of thing. He's been kind of implementing it, I think, in the past. In Collateral, he does it a little bit. And for some of the scenes, for me, it works really well. It adds this weird touch to the movie because it is set in 1933. And so to have a camera that looks clearly like it's from 2009 does add a different look and a feel to this picture. There's a big shootout at the end, or not at the end, but kind of in the middle in the woods, where the shots look really well done on this digital HD. And I think if it was shot with any other kind of camera, it would lose some of that effect for me as to how cool it was. Namely, there's a certain camera shot when Johnny Depp as John Dillinger is hiding behind this tree, but in the frame you can see the person that's hunting him walking in the background towards the tree. And it's really well done. I think if it was shot in a standard, I don't know what the types of cameras that Hollywood uses, but the standard cameras that you would see in films, I think it would kind of lose that sort of cool aspect to it. At the same time though, I felt very weirded out by the camera movement. I think the one movie that I really enjoy watching in this quality is Inland Empire, which is David Lynch's latest film, which if you haven't seen that and you want to be tripped out for days, watch that. And that film really implements that camera style really well to me because it's the type of film that needs it, and it's the type of film that its story needs to be told like that. And I feel like if this film was shot on a normal camera, I don't think it would really lose anything for me. It may even gain a little bit of things for me because sometimes it felt too present. I felt like the camera was too present on screen and I couldn't quite connect to what was going on in the screen because in some scenes I felt like I'm just watching a movie right now. There's nothing emotional about what's going on. Which brings me to my second problem with the film. I would say that the second half of this movie is substantially better than the first. And the reasons I think that is because I feel like the first half is just somebody picking out bits and pieces of John Dillinger's life and throwing them on screen and attempting to have some sort of cohesion with everything. The opening sequence of this film is basically him busting out of jail with all of his buddies, and it's shot really well. I mean, the acting is fantastic in this movie, especially Marion Cotillard, who I would probably say the final shots of the film, amazing acting. And Johnny Depp plays kind of this cool gangster kind of guy, which is really good, and it's also nice to see Christian Bale not growling his lines and going back to normal speech. But the first half of this film feels very not together, and it just felt like bits and pieces were thrown in there. When the bank robberies happen, I never really felt that intensity that Michael Mann brings to the screen, especially in Heat, which I know is a high bar to set for yourself, but I never really felt that intensity. And even the scenes that take place between Johnny Depp and Marion Cotillard, they feel very just placed in there. And a lot of the dialogue is also really cheesy, which I was really surprised about. There's a lot of just like one-liners that I was like, why is this in this movie? But in the second half, it seems to all be a narrative that's just very thorough and very straightforward. Basically, once it hits the shootout in the woods, from that point on to the end, I was definitely involved in this film. But the first half, I was almost a little bored, I would say. But I would still say to see Public Enemies. I don't think it's going to be an Oscar contender or anything like that, but I think that it's still a decent film. I give Public Enemies a 3 out of 5. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.